Welcome back to the Dare to Drive podcast. I'm your host, Pete, and today we have Outlaw cars all the way from Ireland. So this is part 2, so if you haven't listened to part 1 just yet, I recommend go listen to that first. But anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to Dare to Drive. But next topic, one of the last topics I wanted to touch on, is just the community, in Ireland or in anywhere in Europe. I know you've been around over there, so, yeah, how is the community over there, the car community?
The car community, like anywhere, can be toxic,
Hmm.
but it also can be one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah,
Um, like over here in Ireland, the car scene here in Ireland alone is probably second to none. Like in my opinion, no, you guys over there do it on a whole different level. I freaking love it. I absolutely love it. But I've met, yeah, like here, we wouldn't be able to hold a big meet like you did in
I see.
like that big meet you had. It was like, I know it was sanctioned. I know it was probably organized in such a way.
Hmm.
Um, you couldn't do that here. You'd be like,
Really?
what, like the last car meet I was at was maybe 3 months ago. We pulled into a car park. There was probably 30 odd cars there. No one doing anything. Everyone outside the cars,
Yeah,
standing, talking, chatting, taking
right.
pictures. And cops drive up and like, get out of here. You're just
Really?
like, but they're not actually. No one's doing anything. And I
Right.
know, I don't know. Do you suffer that over there? But over here, there's
Hmm.
always a Karen somewhere. There's always someone complaining.
Right, I
But
see.
you have the same element in one bad apple comes, ruins it for everyone else. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So, um, but the drift scene here is epic.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I hear. It seems amazing over there.
um, like you see a competition day. Like over here, we have IDCs, the Irish Drift Championship,
Okay.
and these people that are the people that are participating in it, the drivers, they come from all different walks of life. They don't have race shops. They're not fully full time drivers.
Hmm.
And you should see these cars. The cars that are coming in, like they build such a bit. Like I could name off half a dozen people. Um, they just have these unbelievable competition cars that would,
Really?
you could pull them onto Irwindale at FD, and you'd actually think it came out of a race shop. They're in such like high spec. They're
Right.
in, you know,
Hmm.
um, and like we've had great success with drivers like James Dean,
Hmm.
Conor Shanahan, Jack Shanahan, Flying Dean Carney. You know, um, yeah, I should have said Dean first, read Dean Carney, like, because he's, good performance. But these guys, like, it's great to see these Irish lads. They're out doing what they love, and they're doing
Yeah.
it on a professional level.
Hmm.
Um, and to see other people come up, but like I know guys, they're 9 to 5. They're the 9 to 5. Like literally, you're at a track in either Mondello, Watergrass Hill, um, or they're set up somewhere in like a big event area. These people are pulling up on a Friday. They're after doing a full week's work, also probably pulling late nights inside
Yeah.
in their garages, getting cars together. Um, they're turning up, they're offloading, they're getting their pitches ready, they're going out the next day. They go do practice runs, they're qualifying, then they're competing and battling against each other. That finishes, they wrap up Sunday, they're back into work on Monday morning
Right. That's
at their
awesome.
job.
Hmm.
And it's like, it's crazy to think that there's drivers out there getting paid. They drive, they have a day off, and then they might, they do whatever the developments, their trainings. No, the Joe Soap here is racing, and then he's
Hmm.
back in on Monday. But it's what I love about the drift scene here. Is that you have normal people like me, like you, and
That's awesome.
they're they're bringing these cars. Like I can't wait for you to actually come over here, because you'd actually pinch yourself. Like like I'll give you an example of like the lower spec cars here. So there's like the 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 semi pros.
Okay.
They'll have Wishfab. They'll be running Wishfab. Now,
Hmm.
don't get me wrong. They put all their money, their time into this. They don't. They really dedicate themselves. I'll actually give a really good example. There's David Garvey, great drifter, great judge, judges the drifting. He's in
Hmm.
the drift scene a long time. And I was chatting to him recently, and I was like, "I hear you're coming back," and he was like, "Oh, I am, yeah." And I was like, "Is the PS13 coming back?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "How's it going?" And he was like, "It's going to be a masterpiece, but it's going to cost me so much money." He was like, "But I want to do it right."
Hmm.
So like the work that's gone into this car is it's at a FD level. Like the cars here
Right.
are close close to an FD, but then you have all of Europe. The UK is the same. Norway, Germany, Poland.
Hmm.
Like you should see some of the cars that come out of there. All across the like not just all across. It's just the competition here. Um, and the drivers and the scene is so big. People like absolutely commit their whole life to it.
Right.
Um,
That's awesome.
and it's great to be. It's just great to be part of it. It's just even if you're part of it, you're great. Like when I was over in the States at the FD, for me, like I loved it, and like we were sitting in the stands, and I had two guys from Florida
Hmm.
um, who actually follow all the drifting in Europe. So
Okay.
it was great. I could talk to them, but they were like in Ireland. Yeah, no, they were like, them cars could drive out there, and you wouldn't know the difference between the car out there and the car in Ireland. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's crazy,
Yeah, that's
it's
amazing right
absolutely
there.
nuts.
Yeah, I know
But yeah,
in Europe they do the tour of what is it? Drift Masters, right?
Drift Masters.
Hmm.
So Drift Masters was set up 10 years ago. So there's been a lot of different championships in Europe, but the Drift Masters was formed to kind of it's kind of Europe's answer to FD in America
Okay.
for all
Yeah.
yeah for it really is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was like so in Europe you had Drift All Stars, you had King of Europe, you had Queen of Europe, you had what was it? Iron Kings. There was all of these different
Right.
championships,
Right.
but there was no top level championship
Mm.
to you know what I mean? They were all kind of
Yeah.
not mediocre, but they were the
Like
same as what they hear in
yeah, like
IPC, you know,
semi-pro type of thing. Hmm.
semi pro
Hmm.
on so it
I
was
see.
like so I think it was formed in Poland by a group, and they were like, let's see who's the elite in Europe. Let's finally put a championship out there that actually we can tour around Europe. It's not just in one country. It's in different countries, and they
Hmm.
change it up every year, which is great. But they always have it in Ireland. Every round, there's always a round in Ireland. I love it. But they change it up every year. There's Riga, Latvia. There's like Poland last
Yeah.
year, 53,000 people. The weekend of FD was, and there was the stadium in Warsaw. There was 53,000 people there to watch just drifting
That's
in
wild.
in in a soccer stadium
Hmm.
in Poland, and they're doing it again this year, and I'm gonna be there. I want to be in Orwindale, but I gotta be where I gotta be
You
where
have
history
to.
was made. I have
Definitely.
to be there, um, because I remember someone said to me last year they were like, "Where would you rather be, Orwindale or Poland?" And I was like, "I just want to be in both places at the exact same time."
Yeah.
But yeah, so they set that up, and the level of competition
Hmm.
that comes out, like you've seen the videos, you've
Yeah,
seen
I've
the
I've
driving.
seen like the
It's
competition there is just unmatched that I've seen. Like I've been to Formula Drift here, I've been to Long
mm,
Beach or Wendell now. Like they're competitive, but I see in Europe that they're door jamming just side to side right there.
Oh, there,
It's just
it's
wild.
all,
Mm,
it's all out on the track. Like I know the great thing is you have Japanese drivers came over
mhm.
competing in last year's,
Okay.
um, and you have more drivers coming from. I think there's like a couple of American drivers hoping to come over and do a Drift Masters if it
Yeah.
doesn't clash with their FDs.
Right.
Which again, that's really gonna, like, who's gonna be the best? Is it gonna be an American, Canadian, Japanese?
It's
Is it
like
gonna be
it's like
Irish?
the Olympics of drifting.
Yeah,
Pretty much. It's wild.
it is. It's turning into that. But like you should see, like, it shows how serious these lads are taking it because, like, when they pulled into Mondello, like, if you go onto my YouTube, there's the video of the Masters when it was here last year,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I took a walk around the pits, and you should see these setups, man. Oh my god, there's like big freaking coaches, like big buses,
Really. Yeah.
and they have it all like decked out like a tour bus, and then they have a space underneath for the car to go in
Oh
underneath, and
wow.
you're like, I got talking to one guy. He was a Finnish driver, really nice. I can't actually think of his name. He's up there. That's him. That's him in his A6 up there. Actually,
Okay.
signed it for me and all. I can't
Nice.
pronounce his name. Um, that's all. Yeah, that's my wall of signatures.
Sweet.
And it goes all the way down there. Um, but I was like, can I have a look inside your tour bus? And he was like, oh, okay, as long as you don't film in there, okay, you can look in there. And I was like, okay,
It's
I
awesome.
just want to go in. And I went in, and man, he had more he had more mod cons than I have in my own house. He had fridges, TVs, everything. Like,
Wow.
his wife ended up giving me like a lunch. Like, he sat down,
Really?
he's like, have some lunch, and uh, asking me about Outlaw, and we're there chatting away, and he's there giving me food, and like, this thing had a full bed, like a full
Wow.
bedroom. Oh my god, nuts! Like, I was just like, wow.
That's amazing.
and
Yeah.
and like back home, he's a fabricator.
Okay. Sweet.
So he was like, when I go home, I park this up, I go to work. And you're like, oh man, how can, like, that's nuts. But it
Yeah.
shows the commitment. Like, you see it back home, the commitment drivers make. Like, I can only imagine. Like, we're very lucky. Europe is very interconnected.
Mhm.
But like, for what, 5, 6 rounds, 8 rounds of the FD, some drivers are driving from like one state all the way to another
Yeah.
state, and um, yeah, like, I've seen your roads. Your roads aren't great.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's how it
But
is.
yeah, no, yeah, I'm looking forward. Drifting is really developing in Ireland, is developing in Europe, and
Mhm.
it's really developing on a higher scale in Europe. It's giving more opportunity to drivers to turn professional and to turn a hobby into a passion and turn it into a job. Like James Dean,
Yeah.
um, he's out in Oman the last 2 weeks, and Chris Brady. Um, and they went out and they put on an absolute show. Cars were looking great. The drifting was looking great. It'd be great to see coming to Drift Masters more American drivers, Canadian
Mhm.
drivers, uh, the Far East. I'd love to see maybe this year um, a lot of good driver. I'd like to see them kind of underdogs kind of come up the scale a bit.
Yeah. That'd be
And you
good.
see, that's another great thing about the Drift Masters. Wherever they're doing an event, so if they're doing an event in like Poland or Latvia, Finland, Germany, um, they bring in a wild card. So they open up the books to maybe 3 or 4 drivers
Nice.
that are not in the Masters, but they're in the Pro Championship of their own country, say,
Okay.
to compete against the Masters. And I think it
Mhm.
was in Riga last year, a local kid, a local driver
Mhm.
who got the wild card entry, ended up getting into the finals
Oh wow.
in Riga against I can't remember, it wasn't Jack Shanahan. He knocked out Jack Shanahan. He knocked out James Dean,
Really?
and he knocked out Peter Vischek. So like they're three of the best drivers in the world, and this kid in a pro competition E36 with a 2J went out like it's his home track, so he has the advantage.
Right.
But he went out, he put on an absolute show.
That's awesome.
Like he was on their doors. He was rubbing doors. He was like, I'm here. You're in my backyard. I'm taking a step on that podium. You ain't. And it's great to see that because what other championship does that? That gives an opportunity to someone that may never have the opportunity
Right.
to go touring Europe, like to go around Europe drifting, but they get to say, well, you know what? I was in the Masters. I was in that round. I beat this fella. Um,
That's
like
wild.
I've talked to other drivers, and like I've said to other drivers, like, what's your best memory? What's your best battle? And there was one friend of mine, um, he was drifting in the so they over here a couple of years ago. There was an event called Global Warfare where Drift Games was running the IDC at the time, and they were like they'd invite Chris Forsberg, Ryan Turk came over here competing, Forrest Wang
Yeah,
came
yeah.
over doing shows, and they brought over Daito Saito, and at the time Daito Saito was number one drifter in the world,
Right,
and
right.
in my eyes he still is. Um, and I says to one of the guys, I was like, what was your best memory? And he was like, lining up against the line and looking across, and I see Daito Saito in the next car. I was like, I'm about to go battle Daito Saito. Do you know, I in Ireland they don't do that anymore. They kind of like bring drivers over, but I would like to see Ireland start doing that again, bringing back these international drivers,
Yeah,
giving the opportunity to drivers to compete. Um, it'd be great. It really would. It would
yeah,
be great.
yeah.
But
Definitely, that would be amazing for sure. About
yeah,
the wild card, I didn't know about that. About drift
yeah,
games, but I do really like that idea that it gives the opportunities to just anybody, pretty much.
it,
It's
that's
amazing.
it. Like if you're good enough in your own championship,
Yeah,
then if you're good enough to hit the top podium of your own championship, then you're good enough to go up against the big boys. And I think it's brilliant.
yeah. That's amazing.
I live for it. Like that's who I be. I be like every round, whoever the underdog is, um, whether as a local driver, someone I know or not, and if they're a wild card, I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, come on, come on,
I
and
like
you're
that.
so sad then when you see him go because you're like, if they just had that little bit more power, or but nah, like I said, it's a fun time to be in Europe. I think it's kind of like where FD was 10 years ago. It was kind of at that climax of it was getting to the bigger tracks. It
Right,
was
right.
bringing in the bigger people.
Hmm.
Like when I was in Orwendale, to to see the crowds that pulls in on a day was just like, and it's just like, wow,
Yeah,
um, this is amazing. Like, so we're kind of getting to that point where the tracks are getting quicker, the cars are getting a whole lot quicker. Like cars are nuts now. Like years ago when it was pro drift days, I'm talking what 20 years ago, they were 450 brake, and you were like, wow, that's a lot of power. Now they're 1500 brake,
no,
you know.
yeah,
And it's just like, but it's a great time to be there. I know for some people trying to get into drifting, it's really hard because it's expensive.
yeah.
Um, like parts wise, but right now, like I don't know, it's an exciting time. It's a scary time,
Hmm.
but like we're here for it. We're gonna ride the roller coaster. We're gonna see where it comes, like where it goes. It's definitely exciting, but
Most definitely.
I'm looking forward to hearing about you getting out drifting because I know you're itching to go drifting.
I mean, I want to get into drifting one day for sure. Once I get like another car and everything, so maybe one day in the future we'll get into it for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, but like
But
everyone's gonna start off somewhere,
yeah,
and if it's a ship box, it's a ship box, but
as long as it
it's
goes
your thing.
sideways.
Exactly. As long as it has a happy stick, as Willie says here, as long as it has a happy stick, it'll go sideways.
Right. All right. Well, on that note, I like to do a lucky final seven. So it's basically like the last seven questions of the
Go for
whole
it.
episode right here. So first question would be, what's your favorite part of the car community? Um, whether that's all around the world, in Ireland specifically, up to you right there.
Just meeting new people with the same passion for cars.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty much meeting new people, learning new experiences, been learning new things. Um, yeah, I couldn't really put my finger on it. Just
Yeah.
meeting new people, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, same here for sure. Like even meeting you, it was just even how we met too. I mean, we could tell that
yeah,
little story too. Um I mean, when I first noticed you, I was on Instagram live at the Fujiwara cafe
yeah.
here in El Monte. And then you hopped on the live and you said that you were here and you were gonna pull up, but you wanted to give me some stickers like that too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But that
yeah. I like.
night, yeah, that night we didn't meet up for some reason. I think I left early and you were there a little later or
Just as we
something.
got down, I think we were like, yeah. So I was in the hotel and I went on TikTok and
Uh-huh.
I was just like, yeah, seeing this thing, and I was like, where's this? And you're like,
Yeah,
oh, it's here uh, in SoCal.
yeah,
I was like, that's not far away from here. And then
yeah,
like I was like, okay, because that was one of my things. I was like, why I'm in America, I want to go to an American car meet and
yeah.
see the car scene for myself,
Hmm.
not something that's like organized at FD. I want to see something that's on the street.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and you did like, and I remember you saying come down, and there was someone else in another live that tagged me, and they were I can't remember her name, and she was like, oh, come down, come down, come down, and yeah, just as we arrived, I
Mhm.
think you were gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm here now. So I went around just checking out cars,
Yeah.
handing. I was giving stickers out to people left, right, and like it was funny because I remember this one guy there was a 240 there.
Okay.
She was cambered out, a black one,
Okay,
and
sweet.
he had like these weird or kind of digital headlights.
Mm.
And I remember he was like, like this. And he kind of, I went over and I was like, "Hi guys." I was like, "Who wants the car?" And he was like, "This other guy was like, why? Who wants to know?" And I was like, "Wait." And you see, I'm pure Irish. We'll talk to our own shadow.
Yeah.
Like we'll walk into the middle of a gunfight and we'll just go, right, who are we shooting at? Like we don't care. Like you can pop out the chest, you can act
Mm.
hard. We're just gonna be like, hello, you know. So like this fella's like sitting there, big neck tattoos,
Yeah.
really. Uh, really kind of trying to be intimidating. And I'm
Right,
just
right.
like, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm from Ireland. We don't see this. I'm only here for the FD. And they just went from, what? You're from Ireland? You came all the way here? You're
Yeah.
like, hey, come over here. And they're like bringing guys over. And this guy's bringing me to this car. And there was like a Jimny on hydraulics. And then
Hmm.
there was the 86 and the R35. And like I was been dragged all around by different people to show this car, show that car.
That's awesome. Yeah.
There was a guy doing like key rings on an
Hmm.
E30 on the bonnet of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I know that
Gave us
guy.
like, yeah, he ended up giving me key rings with Outlaw cars, and
Nice.
I was just I remember like we were there for maybe an hour and a half, and
Hmm.
I went back to the hotel with a big smile on my face, and I was just like, what just happened?
That's
And then
amazing.
sure, yeah, we went to FD, and then yeah, we were trying to link up in FD, but we just kept missing each other. And then
Yeah.
it was like it was at the end of the Saturday night. It was qualifying, wasn't it?
Was it on qualifying or the competition day? I don't remember.
Um,
But I just you
I can't.
messaged me on
Yeah,
Instagram, and then we just said meet here at the end of the
yeah,
competition or the end of the
right.
runs and everything. We met up. We had that little cool conversation at that time too. So it was really cool meeting you in
And
person right there. And then
yeah,
you gave me a few stickers and everything. So it's really
it just
cool.
kind of
Hmm.
yeah, it's just we kind of kept in touch. Like I said,
Yeah.
like a random yeah, like again, a random me in LA, you on TikTok
Hmm.
to us doing this.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like but like yeah, like I think because I checked out your profile on Instagram,
Mhm.
your car page, and I was like, was like, wow, this guy's got, jeez, like, and I see your lives, and it's just I'd be sitting here, and I know it's nice and hot over there. You've got really nice car, and I'm like, I want to. That's why I was so happy when I was on your live the other day, and I seen it raining, and I was like, ha,
Yeah.
you got Irish weather now. That's Irish weather.
It's funny. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Meeting people just from everywhere. Social media lets you meet people from all around the world, and it's just amazing.
And it doesn't matter of
Love
the
it.
background. It doesn't matter your
Hmm.
background or not. And I always say cars in general are kind of a universal. No matter where you are, like no
Hmm.
matter where I've been in the world, I've been all over Europe. I've worked over Europe for years, and I've been in places like where there's no English been spoke,
Hmm.
and we go over and I point at the car and they go, yeah, yeah, and I go, oh, that's cool, and they know I'm saying, they
Right.
know I'm complimenting them, and it's like, oh yeah, and you know, I've met friends, long-term friends that have started just by nice car.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, it's amazing how, like I said, most 95% of my friend group is I've met through cars either in some way or shape or form. Um, like it's pretty cool to be able to it's just able to connect with anyone no matter where in the world you have that common
Yeah.
bond. I think you know that
Exactly.
common ground. Like so,
Exactly.
yeah. So car, yeah. I think for me, meeting people in the car community
Hmm.
would would be my favorite part.
Cool. Yeah. Same here for sure. But next question. What's the least favorite part of the car community, though?
People being people bagging down on other. Sorry, no, I'm after getting a pop-up window of something. My I don't know. Go away. Go away. Um, yeah, there we go. That's better. Um, so yeah, people been toxic in the car community, bagging down on people's cars. You
Yeah.
know, it's everywhere. It's
Hmm.
everywhere. It's gonna be everywhere. Um, and I don't see why it should be.
Hmm.
I really don't. Like, I've been to car meets in the past, and like I've seen lads come in with really nice cars. Like, I don't care how you fund them. If it's from the bank of mommy and daddy, or it's a loan, or it's on finance,
Yeah.
I don't care. If you put stickers on it and you think it looks great, and it looks great to you, well, I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I hate these people like, ah, that's daddy's money. How do you know it's daddy's money? You know,
Yeah.
like I've had arguments with people in car parks that I've never met, and I'll be like, how do you know it is? Like,
Hmm.
if it is, so look, we all wish we could have a rich daddy that
Yeah.
get us car, but we don't.
Yeah.
Like I've seen other kids, I've seen other lads over the years. Girls get such a hate. I
Hmm.
girl like I know so many good car girls out there that take pride in their cars. They work on their cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I know so many girls that are more handier at cars than fellas are.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know girls that can strip engines down,
Hmm.
like, and they get absolutely fucking bagged on. Like,
Hmm.
uh, like there's a friend of mine there. She works on her car, and it's like, oh, is that your boyfriend's car? It's like, no. She's like, it's my car. And
Right.
um, so yeah, it's the toxicity in the car scene is
Yeah. I
something.
agree. Hmm.
Like I said, it's gonna be there. It's not something that's going away. But it's like, do we really like? It's enough that society is
Hmm.
toxic towards us. Do we
Yeah.
really need to be toxic against each other just
Right.
because you don't like? I'll give you an example, just a quick one. Years ago, when I had my Corolla on the road and I was driving it, and I was going to car meets,
Hmm.
and I'd pull up, and it has the 20 valve bumpers with the fog lights.
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
there's the original 20 valve fog lights that has a lit like on the glass has a little Toyota symbol in the
Okay.
corner. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you have to bend down and really look at it, but you can see it,
Yeah. I know what
right?
you mean.
Couldn't get them. Again, JDM tax. Lads are looking for lotto numbers. Went on eBay, found a set in China. Exactly the same. I can't remember. They were off another car, but they fit exactly into the insert of the bumper.
Right.
€30. what's not to love? You're getting a fog light that works, that fits in the thing.
Yeah.
Great. I pull him in. I'm delighted with life, man. I'm going to this meet. I'm like, ha, I got fogs. Turn the fogs on. Turn the fogs off. Turn the
Yeah.
fogs on. I got fogs. And like literally, like one of my mates was standing there. And he was like, every time someone went by, I just go on, off, on, off. And there he was like, "Will you stop?" But this guy came over and he goes, kind of, he looks at the front and he's like, looks really down at the fog lights. And I knew what he was looking at because we're standing over. I'm drinking coffee. My mate's eating a burger, and this fella we could see. And he's like, "What is he doing?" And I was like, "He's trying to see if he can see the Toyota symbol on the
Mm.
glass." He's like, "So your man comes over and he goes, 'That's not really 20 valve headlights or fog lights.'" And I was like, "Never said it was.
Yeah.
Never have I looked around everyone. I was like, did I ever state they were?" And they were like, "No." It's like, like this guy didn't even know me. I didn't know him. Why was he coming out to try and make a fool of me? For what? Like, for on what gain was he getting? What? You're right. Okay, there you go. Go on away now. You know,
Pretty much.
pat in the back.
Hmm.
Go on, tell mammy you're a big boy. Like, I had another guy. I had the boot door reflectors on. I had the kit on driving in. Again, I have a sticker that says 20 valve. So it has 20 valve, FX or GT FX, and then in really small writing it says rep, as in a replica
Yeah. Yeah.
of a 20 valve. In really small writing, you can see it, but
Yeah.
you can't see it from a distance. So all you can see is this.
Okay.
I pull up, and the guy turns around. He's like, "That's not a 20 valve." I was like, "I know," and he was like, "But why do you say it's 20 valve? Where's it say 20 valve? Right there. Like, did you read the whole thing of it?" And he looked closely. He was like, "What does the rep mean?" And I was like, "Replica." And he was just like, "Oh, oh, okay. I was just, to let you know they didn't come in a diesel." I'm like, "I know. Thank you
That's
for sharing
funny,
that information."
right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. Like I said, I don't understand why people hate on other
Hmm.
people's cars. Like, we see it everywhere. You
No.
see it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Hmm.
Social media is probably around your own car meets and stuff.
Hmm.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. At the end of the day, people build cars for themselves. At the end of the day, too. So I can agree with you on that one. Um.
And the only other thing I suppose is people. Years ago people used to do car, like, that's what I think I liked about America. You people do cars the way they want them.
Yeah. Hmm.
Over here, a lot of lads follow what other lads are doing.
Ah, I
Like,
see.
there's have you ever heard of agri spec?
I don't
So
think so.
agri spec over here is for like agricultural spec.
Okay.
So it's like a diesel, like a Jetta, a Golf,
Mm.
a flashing beacon light, like an amber beacon light on the roof of
Okay.
it, slammed with rolling coal coming out the back, and so it's going down the road, and it looks like a fucking tractor,
Uh.
sounds like a tractor, and it's just
Yeah.
like one guy did it, and everyone else had to follow, and you're just like,
Mm.
really,
Yeah.
like,
Then
can
you
you?
see it everywhere. I bet too, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why the Corolla for me is going to be different. They're
Yeah.
just little customizations that are just for me. I
Mm.
like them. If no one else likes them, that's okay.
Yeah.
You're happy with
Exactly.
your opinion. I don't want to hear them though.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So, third question. We can do. Do you have any controversial like car opinions about anything? Like, I mean, if you want a few examples, I can give you a few. But any
Go on,
controversial?
go.
I mean,
To
like
me.
a few ago, we had a guy doesn't like straight piped exhausts because of like the tones of certain cars. Uh,
Depends. Are you straight piping petrol? Are you straight piping diesel? Are you straight piping a turbo and non-turbo?
I mean, it depends. Like for he was saying like for like inline sixes, straight pipe is okay like
Mm.
that. But
Yeah, that's
other
okay.
other like Hondas or like even like VQs and everything, they shouldn't be straight pipe because of the rasp that it gives like that. But
Yeah, I can agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, it's just kind of that.
yeah,
Yeah, that kind of right on. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of imagining it in my head now, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but and
Yeah, that's a bit like over here with the IS 200s. I don't know what are they in America. IS 300s,
yeah, I used
Lexus.
300.
Yeah, so everyone straight pipes them here, and they have
Really.
this like everyone key bangs them.
Hmm.
Like drives me nuts. Drives me fucking spare.
Hmm.
I literally literally be like one of them guys that would go over with a can of expanding foam and fill their exhaust. It's like if you keep doing it, I'm gonna do that to you. I don't want to, but you're gonna force my hand. Um, oh, controversial. That's a really hard one, Pete.
It
Though you
is.
really got me because there's so many. We could nearly make a whole series of a season of a podcast
For real, yeah.
on different. Um, I'll tell you what. There's one thing that really gets me is drift tax, JDM tax,
Mm. Yeah.
um, on simple things,
Hmm.
simple plastics, trims, things that don't have any function. An engine, a gearbox, a differential. They're components that you need to operate.
Hmm.
But a piece of carbon fiber that big, that wide, shouldn't be going for 300 or 400 euros for any car. It
Mm.
should be for
Yeah.
50 bucks maybe. Yeah, I think the car tax on anything drift, anything
Yeah.
anything we like, anything we like.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you
the only
know,
thing with that though is like there is like the scarcity, like the quantities that are out there. So I don't see that.
yeah,
Unfortunately, I don't see that going away anytime
no.
soon. Especially more people are buying, they're using the parts, and they're not selling as much. So that's the only
Yeah,
downside.
that's well. You see, that's it. That's down. Like I know stateside 350Zs are really, really, really popular.
Yeah,
Because at one time they were really, really cheap to
yeah.
buy,
Hmm.
and they had the V6. Now they're I don't know what price is a standard 350Z V6 over there now.
I mean, it depends. Nowadays, it's for a clean one, like low
Hmm.
mileage, clean body, clean title, and everything. Maybe like 5 to like 7, 8,000. I would say you can
Yeah,
get like a beat up one for like around 3.
yeah. But
So,
a couple of years ago, you would have got maybe one of them for like 2 grand.
oh
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
I could have bought one for 2 grand like 4 years ago, and I went
Really?
nah. And I'm sickened. I never. It was a road going car. It had like your man was driving it
Mm.
daily and everything. I was like, why didn't I buy
I mean,
that?
how are the
But
prices over there for the Z's then?
they're gone up. They're really gone up
Really?
because they're getting scarce.
Oh, I see.
Um, E46s,
Mm.
you can't buy one for 7 grand.
Really?
Like
Mm.
they're getting so rare because a lot of lads drifted them,
Yeah.
put them in ditches. Um, like even my Corolla, you could buy a couple of years ago for less than 1,000.
Mm.
Now a clean one, a good one, they're going for 4 or 5 thousand euros, like
Yeah, I
easily.
bet.
And
Hmm.
um, like even Skylines 33s, they've gone up. But you see, they've gone up because now in the stateside you're allowed to import them
Yeah.
in after the 10-year rule.
Hmm.
So like overnight, I watched the prices on Yahoo go between like you could buy one and sell it. You might hear for maybe 22, maybe 17, 14 to 17,000, and as soon as America opened its market to it, they went up by 10,000.
Really?
Like
Wow.
yeah, like 15K. Like you won't buy a JZX here for less than 28,000,
Oh, wow.
and that's a really rough one, a
Yeah.
really clean one. I've seen them go for 35 euro, 35,000, 35 euros. I wish 35,000.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
But I don't see that going away anytime
No.
soon. I wish, but that's gonna be a tough one to
Um,
overcome.
and I suppose the other thing then that would be a restraint or what really pees me is restrictions by governments
Oh
all
yeah.
over the place.
Hmm.
Like I know in some parts of America
Hmm.
is stricter than others,
Oh yeah,
and over here it's getting stricter. Like you can't even get
really.
your car. Like we have an NCT, which is like once a year
Hmm.
your car goes in. They're supposed to test the wheels, the seat belts, and whatever.
Right.
Now they can plug in your car to see if you have it mapped, if you have
Oh.
the
Okay.
EGR taken out. You're like
Yeah.
you're kind of, yeah, you. I don't know. Can I swear on this? Can I? It makes me really cross.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Here in the States, especially in California, I would say California is the worst state for car enthusiasts. Um,
Really?
just because one, there's crazy emissions too. So I think every other year you have to get a smog check. So they just check emissions and everything. So for
Right.
example, if you don't have your catalytic converters on the car, you don't pass
Yeah.
smog right there. So most car people probably don't have that, so of course. So you have to go under the table, find somebody to do it, type of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like you go
Hmm.
somewhere where you can.
Yeah, they actually have to inspect the car, similar over there too.
Um,
But yeah.
but like why don't they flange like over there? We say over here we'd have so we take out the cats. We'd straight pipe here, no
Hmm.
problem. So you take out your cat, it's flanged on either side, and you just put a a pipe in, and then when the NCT comes around, balls that off, put your cat in, balls it back up, and away you go into the NCT. Actually, the Mark V Golf, my wife's first car, which we still have that. I forgot
Mhm.
we actually have that as well, but I don't really talk about that because it gives me PTSD. um, yeah, we still have that actually with the Mark V Golf. That's a
Mhm.
1.9 diesel.
Nice.
And I took the cat out and I brought it to a friend of mine who's a really really good welder,
Hmm.
and I was like, I want to keep this as a dummy cat, but I don't want the cat inside in it. Yeah, so he cut it. And he took it out and he welded it really nicely back up and he put it back in. So we drive into the NCT. I'm there with my phone to turn off there was like because we took out the EGR, which is like for emissions
Right. Right.
because it clogs up. So I took that out, put a pipe in there. Again, you can't do that because then it leaves on the engine check light,
Yeah.
but everything it drives away. But they'll fail you on it. So as it went in, I had a Bluetooth reader and I could
Hmm.
get onto the phone and I clear the code quickly.
Oh, nice.
And I seen your man kind of looking in one night. We're waiting there. Car goes in for the thing, goes through all his checks. And next thing you see your man calling over another fella, calling over another fella, calling over another fella, and he's like looking in at it. And next thing comes out certificate. You passed for another year. Fair
Yeah.
play. Off you go. And next your man goes, hmm, "That's a dummy cat." And I went, "What?" And he was like, "That's." I was like, "No, no, that's a cat." And he was like, "No, it's a dummy cat." It's
Mm. There, they just more inspect it, not really make
yeah.
sure everything's working. I see. Yeah. Here.
Well, they're getting stricter and stricter with the emissions, so
I see.
they're checking everything. Like
Okay. I
they're
see.
kind of getting more in depth.
Yeah. I see.
A lot of guys used to do that here with BMWs with the E36s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'd buy an E36 318 with the 1.8 engine.
Mm.
They get that insured, and they'd be insured for 1.8, and then they'd rip that out and put a 325 into it.
Uh,
And they were getting away with it for years, and then cops, they
mhm.
catch on. They catch on, like
Yeah,
they
they
always
do.
do.
Hmm.
You know.
That's how it is. But let's move on to the next question. Let's go with, do you have any regrets in the car scene? Maybe you like sold a car that you would want back or anything like that?
Yeah. If I knew what I know now, when it comes to cars, I probably wouldn't have wrecked so many of them or
Mm.
sold them. If I knew like Corollas, like when it was affordable to buy twin cams,
Yeah.
like you can't buy an 86 now without paying massive, massive amount of money. You're
Hmm.
talking 10 grand, 11 grand. Years ago, you could buy them for two or 3 grand or swap a car for them, like
Right.
I did.
Hmm.
But you can't even do that now. So yeah, a lot of standard parts, because a lot of the car scene here is kind of going back to original,
Hmm. I see.
the original way the car looked from the factory,
Yeah.
maybe.
Hmm.
That's kind of coming around, which is really cool. Don't get me wrong, I
Hmm.
love it. Um, but again, some of them parts are so rare because we'll say, like, I have a set of Toyota alloys that are factory standard Toyota alloys. I only found out recently they're worth a lot of money, and
Hmm.
I didn't know. And I was like, why? And they were like, oh yeah, because they used to come on all the Corollas in the 90s, and then in the early 2000s, guys would get newer rims or aftermarket rims and take them off, feck them in a
Right.
ditch, and put on the new ones because they were the factory ones. No one likes them. um, so yeah, like if I knew the value of some parts, would it have been nice to hoard them?
Hmm.
Yes, but would I have done it? Nah. You know,
Yeah,
I
I get you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, for sure. Next question, we can go to what's your dream car? Any car you can get, no money limit. What's your dream
Oh,
car?
JZX 100.
Okay, a chaser. Nice.
Oh yeah, I've got one tattooed on me.
Really sweet.
I actually owned a Chaser maybe 15 years ago.
Okay.
I was the second or third person to import one into Ireland at the time. They were not very well known. I knew, like, I'm a big Toyota head, so
Hmm.
pretty much any Toyota that goes fast, I've known about them. So JZX 100, when I got my opportunity, but I was 20,
Yeah. Okay.
going on 21, driving around, getting pulled by the cops
Mm.
constantly. Um, and the first thing the cops always say, how can you afford a car like this? And you're just like, just go into Yahoo auctions.
Yeah.
You see, and over here, I was very lucky at the time. We were in this kind of, I call it the golden eras, because it was this beautiful time of where there was second-hand car dealerships setting up, and they were importing cars from Japan
Really.
and doing the whole process of clearing them and getting them on Irish plates,
Okay.
and then you just rock up and pay for them, and they
Wow.
were like 6, 7 grand. Now I think the Chaser at the time I paid just under 13,500 for
Okay.
it,
That's not bad. Yeah.
um, and it was lovely. I
Hmm.
loved it. Purred. Do you know what I mean? It was the 2J. You drop a gear, it'll
Hmm.
go. Do you know what I mean? And it was just all the way down the road. And everyone looked at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were a big land yacht. Everyone
Oh
looked at you.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I drifted that for a while, and I ended up the chassis just got too bad, and
Hmm.
I just got rid of it. I always thought I'd get another one again, um, but I got a Skyline instead.
For sure.
Um, yeah, so Chaser, um, definitely Chaser 100, JZX 100 and 81 JZX.
Okay.
Love them.
Yeah.
Graphic, black on graphic grey on air suspension.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. And I'd probably round it off with, I'm gonna go proper old school. I'm gonna go with the 1972 R31 Skyline. I just like
Okay.
just
Yeah.
the look at that. It's pure old school.
Yeah. I like those.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Those are definitely underrated. All the I don't know pre R32, all those skylines are really underrated, but I do
Well,
love
you
them.
see, you have the R32 is the Godzilla.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, that was the car that went out and decimated
Hmm.
in different championships, the touring championship. It won Nissan
Hmm.
multiple different
Yeah.
championships, and you kind of the 31 was kind of pushed aside, like you know,
Yeah.
it's like It's like when the big brother won the gold medal, but the middle child won 4 gold medals.
Yeah.
It's like,
Pretty much.
but I won one. I won the first gold medal. It's like, yeah, you didn't. Go
Pretty
ahead.
much.
So yeah, I think I don't like the way cars are gone now. I think the car manufacturers have lost their way
Hmm.
of designing cars. Like back in the day, what it would have
Yeah.
been to live, to be what our age is now and live back then, to be able to go off down to a dealership and buy, a Skyline or uh, just,
Yeah,
nuts.
most definitely. Yeah, I mean, next question would be, what's one car that you would wipe for existence? Like it never existed right there.
Tesla, Tesla,
Really? Tesla?
yeah,
Why is that?
Tesla. They're like a driving fridge. I don't trust. I don't like anything electric.
How do you feel
I
about
don't like any.
how do you feel about the new Cybertruck? No?
No, man, it
That
looks hideous.
that's a
It
straight
looks
refrigerator.
that looks hideous. Like it's like what? And people are buying it.
Yeah, they are.
People are actually parting with money. Like it's. I'd say Elon Musk's kids designed it, and you know, I don't know. Like I don't get it. Like you can like he can send something to space, but he can't design a truck.
Pretty
Like
much.
I love the big trucks. Like you've got your F-250s
Hmm.
and 350s. Is it? Is there
Yeah,
F-350s?
I think so. Those are the bigger.
Um, yeah, because I loved that
Hmm.
when I was over stateside. It was just every time we were driving down, I
All
was
the
like,
big
oh my god,
trucks.
this big pickup, big pickup.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I'd probably put them on my list of other cars like big Dodge Rams. All like the big trucks you have, I want one of them as well on my list. But it's like that's a truck. That's a truck.
Yeah.
What in God's name have you created? And like, if it was a joke, you'd be like, okay, but it's not. It's
Hmm.
real.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no. I think if I had my way, I'm not saying that we would shoot Elon Musk, but we would sit him down in a chaser and absolutely limit or bash it until the idea of electric cars float out of his head.
That's a good idea.
I think electric cars are. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever gonna like them. The hydrogen, I'm all for. I think I've seen Toyota brought out the new Supra with
Hmm.
that's fully hydrogen, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. Um, no, electrics, no, no, they're I don't know, they're like your phone.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's a computer at the end of the day.
They can bug out they can bug out any
Yeah.
time. Like I know a friend of mine, he has a Tesla, and he was like gone down to the shops or something. He was gone. He was about a half an hour away from home, and
Mm.
when he got back into the car, it went software update error, could not update.
What?
Car was stuck. Car was stuck. He couldn't do nothing. Car wouldn't
Yeah.
turn on.
Oh
So
no.
he had to get it recovered home. And then he told me like a couple of months ago he was over in the UK with it, and he was in an underground car park, and he went down like 4 floors down.
Okay.
So he was driving down, as you
Yeah.
do to
Yeah.
find parking, and next thing,
Oh no.
and it came up no GPS, and he was like, so he got onto like the helpline, and he was like, my
Hmm.
car died. I'm in the middle of a thing. They were like, where are you? We know we can see you're here. And he was like, yeah. And they were like, but we can't connect to your signal. We're only triangulating off your last signal and all this.
Right.
He's like, oh well, I'm in an underground car park. And they were like, how far down are you? And he was like, oh, about 3 stories down. They were like, yeah, you're gonna have to get recovered out of there. And he was like, what? He was like, yeah,
Oh
GPS can't
wow.
pick it up. So what
Wow.
do you do? What do you do? Like,
That's
can you
crazy.
imagine? Like, what's a Tesla? How much is a Tesla?
Um,
Like,
I
you
honestly
talking
don't
60, seventy
know.
thousand?
I think so, somewhere around there. I know here in California, they had like some thing you could apply for that you get it for like under 30 grand or something dumb, but
Oh, that's government trying to kind of get you to buy them. Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah,
Um,
they're doing the same here.
mhm.
Yeah. Um. No, 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 no,
So
never gonna be a fan
yeah,
of them.
Tesla's got to
No,
go. Got it.
gotta go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, last question of the whole episode right here. what's some advice you would give to somebody, whether they're just getting into cars, whether they got their first car too? Some advice that you would give them.
Um, Start small. Like if you want to do some modifications, um, start really, start small. You don't need to go off and put yourself in debt to buy the latest body kit
Hmm.
or anything. Um, and learn, teach yourself. If you don't like the color of the wheels, spray the wheels. Teach yourself how to, like YouTube. Like we're I, quite lucky now that there's YouTube. There's a
Yeah,
video for absolutely everything.
literally.
Like I set up my whole PC by just using a video on YouTube. 5 years ago, I'd be in the corner rocking back and forth, going, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't turn it on. But yeah, so like start small. Um, Depending on what you want to go into. Do you want to like, you know, um, try everything once. If you
Yeah.
fail, that's okay.
Hmm.
That's okay. You learn from your mistakes. Um, like I know certain primers don't go on certain paint, or paints don't go on certain primers. They react now. How did I know that? Because I done that mistake. That's
Yeah.
how I know.
Hmm.
Um, don't ever get discouraged. If it doesn't work out the first time, there's a reason for it. Find out the reason. You know, take a step back. Don't sit there with a grinder in your hand and have a nervous breakdown like I did. Just have a step back, and uh, there's always there's a will, there's a way.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes you just need to find. You might not have a way. You need to make your way,
Yep.
and you'll figure it out. And like I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic by any means. I don't come from a mechanical background, as in my father's not a mechanic, or there's no one in my family that are car orientated, car mad.
Right.
But yeah, I have a shed there. I work, or a garage. I work away on my own cars on my own time. I do all my dailies, my services. Um, brakes are a good one to start with. If you know nothing about cars, brakes are probably. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, don't brakes are safe." Changing the pads,
Yeah.
changing the oil,
Hmm. Easy.
changing the filters.
Yeah.
Nice,
Little
easy,
stuff.
and
Hmm.
they'll save you money. They'll actually save you money in the long run,
Hmm.
and you're doing your own maintenance. It's probably, you know what I mean, changing your plugs. Start with them, build your way up. You know, when I was 15, could I pull an engine out of a car? No. Can I now? Yeah, no problem. Am I going to be absolutely shitting it that I'm like, oh, it's never going to start again? Yeah, probably. But you figure out a way,
Yep.
you adapt, and you
Hmm.
overcome. And like I said, give everything one try, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I think actually that's probably the biggest. Don't have too much pride. Like there's other guys out there that from this high they can pull an engine out of a tractor and put it into another tractor and get it going, or
Hmm.
another, they can pull this out of one car and pull it because their father showed them or their uncle or whatever they're around it,
Right.
and you might not be. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't know. Ask them, ask someone, or someone that you feel confident. Go down to like garages. The amount of mechanics that have helped me over the years, where I've gone down and like I'll give you an example. Timing belts,
Mm.
hate them.
Yeah.
Stay away from them. I tried to do my own timing belt years ago on. It was a cheap runaround I had. A Citroen Saxo,
Mm.
little 1.6 car. Had it for like 3 months. Um, Great little thing, really. Went to do the timing belt. I actually fucked up the timing belt.
Oh no.
Ended up
Hmm.
like slipping because I hadn't positioned everything correctly. I was
Right.
out oh,
Hmm.
millimeters, like
Yeah.
nothing like. And there was this one old mechanic over the road, and I came over there. And I was like, car won't start. Try this, try that. Look at
Hmm.
this, and he was like, washing the hand, cleaning off the hands, and he says, Right, 1 minute there now. We'll go up there. I'll have a cup of tea and a brown bread there, and I'll be up with you there in an hour. And I went, right, grand. Off I went up, and he comes up an hour later, and he looks at it. He says, yeah, engine's fucked. And I went, oh, how? What did I do? Like, and he was like, you see that one there? That crank? That little indicator and that little indicator are supposed to be here. You're here. I was that much like I was
Oh wow.
so
Yeah.
slightly off. And he was like, you're after bending a valve. And I went, and he goes, why didn't you come up and ask me? I would have come up, I would
Mm-hmm.
have showed you how to set it. And he goes, I would have been here because what I did is I turned the key,
I see.
which that banged where if I did
Right.
it by hand, I would have felt tension and I would
Yeah.
have, oh, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, that led into doing a head gasket and doing a whole top rebuild of an engine. And he did not like he didn't lay his hands on it. He watched over his shoulder, over my shoulder, going, "You're doing that wrong.
Mm.
Clean that." Do-" But again, it taught me
Yeah.
never
That's how
be
you
afraid
learn.
to ask
Mm-hmm.
how you learn. Never, if anyone doesn't matter if you're man, boy, girl, it, frying pan, whatever you identify yourselves as, he, she, them, days, I don't know. But if you have an interest in cars and it's something you enjoy doing, go down to a machine shop, go down to a garage, your auto garages, and I know there's tons of them are everywhere. There's
Mm-hmm.
always three or four in every place. Someone always knows a mechanic, and don't be afraid. They're not gonna. They're, Mechanics they don't be a gatekeeper on things.
Mm-hmm.
If they think you have an interest and they think they can teach you, they're more than happy
Yeah.
to sit there for an extra hour. If you go, I want to do my brake pads, but I want to know how to do it myself, but I'm a bit. They will walk you through it, or they will say, "Bring the car down, and we'll walk you through it." They
Right.
don't have a
Mm-hmm.
problem. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't ever be, don't think. And look, if some people judge you, well, maybe you didn't need their help after all.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's about it. I think I've bored the year off you, man.
Well, I mean, that's basically it that I have. I mean, do you want to give any like last shout outs or anything like that? Where could the people find you at too?
Well, you can go onto YouTube. We are under Outlaw Cars with a Z, like that. There we go.
Perfect.
Um, we Outlaw Cars with Z. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're on YouTube. We have videos coming out called Idiots with Engines. We're actually rebranding over eventually, but that's a whole different podcast, different story. Um, and we actually have our own podcast coming out soon,
Okay.
which is Idiots with Engines, the podcast. So
Nice.
we'll be able to flip this script, and you'll be able to sit there for two and a
Cool.
half hours and
Let's
do
do
all the
it.
talking. Yeah,
Let's
man,
do it.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, find us on all the socials. If any of your American buddies are coming over to Ireland to watch the drifting, or anyone's going to be in Poland on, do I have it on my calendar? It's there somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. In September the 14th or 15th, and you don't know anyone, and you're in a different country, holler us, give us a shout on, give us a DM. We'll link up like me and Pete did,
Yep.
and we'll have fun, we'll have crack. It'll be good fun. Yeah, pretty much that's it. You can find us on TikTok. Come and join us. I need the likes. I need the shares. I need to. Yeah, I want to do more, and yeah,
Most definitely.
let's do it, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
And if you're
mm.
listening to this, you better subscribe to Pete, or else I'll come after every last one of you. I will hide under all your beds. I will find you. So just go on to their link on Dare to Drive, and then go over to YouTube, and then like Outlaw Cars. There you go. Hey.
Perfect. There we go. Well, that's about it. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you hopping on here. Thank you for all the stories and everything like that too. So yeah,
Appreciate being on it, man. And thanks for having me on. It's actually been fun, and I didn't realize it's been nearly 2.5 hours.
yeah, almost there.
So
But yeah,
I am really sorry.
you're all good. But thank you for your time. If you guys are listening, thank you for listening. If you made it this far right here, yeah, this is the Dare to Drive podcast. I'm Pete with Outlaw Cars, and yeah, hope you guys have a great
Good luck.
day and dare to drive.